What laser therapy does, it reboots that blood supply. So those little miniaturized hairs will reverse and grow longer and thicker and stronger.
Ooh, you see those tiny hairs? Those are called vellus hairs. They're miniaturizing, and so each time they're going to get smaller and smaller, and by the time you notice this, you've lost almost 50% of your hair.
I mean, I always thought that I had a pretty good head of hair. I had no idea that it was thinning so much underneath it all.
Capillus will help to stimulate that hair follicle, and then those hairs can grow in thicker
Something
and thicker.
more similar to that.
Like that.
I just put it on when I watch the TV, and I got my hair back.
I feel like it truly has changed the way I see myself and others see myself.
Patients ask me all the time, does it really work? Well, I'm here to tell you with 32 years experience as a hair restoration surgeon, it definitely does work.
You could spend tens of thousands of dollars on expensive medical procedures, or risk the side effects of costly medications you have to buy over and over. Or you could pay a fraction of the cost with a one-time purchase of the Capillus laser cap. Try it for a full 12 months. Not just 30 or 60 days, but an entire year. What do you have to lose? Get the results you want or get your money back. Call 888-452-6758 or go to usecapillus.com. Act now and get free 2-day shipping. Payment plans are available. Call 888-452-6758. That's 888-452-6758 or go to usecapillus.com now.
Let me ask you this. Yesterday you said that you remembered now that prior to this incident on the second floor, right, you had seen something on...
That's basically north and east of Waterloo, north and east of Waterloo, north of Simpsonville. Right now, if you're in Glen Elg, Clarksville, Columbia, back over to Simpsonville, I want you to take your tornado precautions as necessary. All of the walls around you, something to cover your head. Innermost closet or room, the basement or the bathroom. Tornado warning once again goes until 3:45. Some of the cities here, as Marcus is pulling them up for me, in Simpsonville at 3:34, Oakland Mills at 3:36, and Pfeiffer's Corner at 3:41 p.m. Clarksville right now, you're starting to see some of that wind moving on through that brighter little couplet there just north of town. If we can zoom in a little bit tighter, maybe we can get a street level view here of what's going on. Very, very bright shading of white showing up here. Right here, it looks like Traffic Circle Road right now just east of 32, doesn't seem like we have any towns here, but this is just north of, just south, actually, southwest of Pine Orchard, southwest of Pine Orchard, and now starting to come into the west side of Columbia. So nice little tight couplet here, nice tight little couplet, and you can see how it just cycled out. Just like that. So a broader view shows the wind still in place here, and also getting a little bit of rotation just north of Pine Orchard, where we're getting the greens meeting up with the reds, where we're getting the greens just east of West Friendship right now. Even in these areas where you're outside of the polygon, we want you to take your tornado precautions as necessary. Once again, tornado warning until 3:45 p.m. If you're north of Clarksville right now, seeing some of those issues. I'm going to check back in with meteorologist Marcus Walter to see what he is seeing there on the radar here at the moment. But once again, that brighter shading of pink that we're seeing west of Columbia right now, that's our circulation point with the tornado warning that will go until 3:45 p.m. Marcus?
Yes, and as we put a track on this to give you an idea of which way this storm is headed, we'll put a couple of more cities up there. Columbia, you potentially will be in line to feel the impacts of this strong thunderstorm that has a tornado warning on it. So this is something you really do need to keep in mind. You've been through this already within the last week, so you know that you need to get to your safety places. You need to get away from windows. Also, Pine Orchard, you need to do the same thing because this has not been confirmed yet. But again, we have seen signs of rotation with this particular thunderstorm that has that tornado warning on it. Now, I'll put the radar back on just so you can see how much rain is falling with this storm system as well. And we'll put it, actually, I'll put it into the now mode. So you see right here where West Friendship is, where we have some of that activity, is covered in rain. So we have a lot of rain, we have a lot of lightning, so we have an intense thunderstorm rolling through. And as I put another track just on this thunderstorm as itself to give you an idea of cities that will be impacted as the system continues to move east. Let's show you a few. Again, we have Columbia, we have Lockern, we have Catonsville eventually, if this system holds together, and then eventually we're talking about the city of Baltimore, at least parts of it, feeling the impact of this particular cell moving through. It may not have a tornado warning with it as it is moving toward Baltimore, just to be clear about that, but this is a dangerous storm because it does have a tornado warning with it now. And we just had new information put up there. We just had a severe thunderstorm warning issued for the city of Baltimore. So now we have that right there because that's in anticipation of this cell moving through. That severe thunderstorm warning stays active through 4:15 p.m. If you look at the clock right now, it is 3:33 p.m. this afternoon. So we still have some time to deal with this dangerous storm. And as we take you back to velocities, just so we can see if there's any more rotation with the cell, it's there. It's not as visible, but we're still looking at the area just to the east of West Friendship. So if you are in this area, definitely be on the lookout for this particular activity. Do not go outside, get to the most inner part of your house, and don't look at windows because if you have strong winds out there, you can have debris that actually could cause windows to crack and break. And now let's send it back over to meteorologist Eric Taylor.
Yeah, and like Marcus was saying right there, you definitely want to watch out for flying debris here. One area of concern just west of Columbia, we want to go back south. We are seeing a little bit of rotation up there towards West Friendship, but this right here, if we can zoom in a little bit closer just west of Columbia right now, this is our area of concern. This is our circulation point that is showing up between Columbia and Clarksville right now, just south of Pine Orchard. And this most likely is where we're seeing some of that rotation out of this tornado-warned storm. Once again, until 3:45 p.m. The severe thunderstorm warning that has actually been extended, if you can widen this out just a little bit, that has been extended into portions of the city. It's for this same storm. It could produce winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. Once again, that severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15 p.m. So a lot of heavy action going on. If we can go over to weather graphics 2 real quickly while Marcus resets the radar here just for a moment, you'll actually be able to see that this storm is putting out some hail, putting out some big hail as well. There's a little bit of a hail core that's back here coming across southern portions of Carroll County. You can see the track of this as it came out of Ballinger Creek. It basically cut just south of Frederick. Looks like we had some pea and quarter-size hail there north of Damascus and then now making its way into portions of Carroll County. But once again, tornado warning actually now for Anne Arundel and Howard County. That will go until 3:45 p.m. If you're in Columbia, down to Savage, back out through the Glen Burnie and Elk Ridge area, over towards the Guinness Brewing Company, out through Relay, along 95 south, back along 29 and 32. Tornado warning until 3:45 p.m. If we can go back into regular radar mode, you can actually see some of the outflow boundaries just south of Brookville over towards Olney. But this big complex of storms, and this is kind of what we like to see, the storms are coming together. So that may broaden out the rotation a little bit, but that tornado warning has actually been extended, it looks like, down into portions of Anne Arundel County, and this once again is going to continue until 3:45 p.m. So tornado warning Howard County, now working into Columbia, and just north of Savage, if we can come in a little bit tighter here. Storms now in the city. Those are on the severe thunderstorm warning, with the tornado warning here up towards Columbia and Elk Ridge, once again on this notch that's near Columbia. If we can go down to Howard County, it looks like that may be a separate warning, Anne Arundel County, and it looks like actually that has popped back off the board. So it looks like that may have been a graphical malfunction. Not seeing anything on the chat over there, but still going to keep an eye on this storm around Lakeshore, moving towards Pasadena, just north of Arnold. Severe thunderstorm warning, of course, with possible tornado text. That's going to go until 4:15 p.m. But we're going to stay with you here as this warning continues across portions of Howard County. Going to send it back over to meteorologist Marcus Walter now to see if he has any new information in regards to that warning.
Well, again, we do have that tornado warning. I'll put some information up on a map for you so you can see it. So we have this warning that goes through 3:45 p.m. This is a storm that we want you to take very seriously. We've already had damage over the past week from tornadic activity. We had an EF, a very weak tornado, but it was a tornado that caused damage in Columbia, and you all are still dealing with the same threat as we speak with that tornado warning covering part of your city. Now, as we clear this information off and show you a little closer at what we're looking at, we have a lot of intense rain still falling right now across the Columbia area, and we'll zoom in just to show you that as we have that tornado warning. We'll also put the velocity back on just so you can see where we potentially have some rotation. And we're still looking at something now just east of West Friendship. And again, we are looking at that tornado warning. So let's put a track on it. Let's give you some cities so that way you can know where you are and where you need to be. Let's put it on the map right here. Let's drag it out. And now let's see. So again, we're still talking about cities such as Rockwell, Waterloo, Wesley Grove by the time we get to 3:30 or 3:43 p.m., Elk Ridge by 3:46 p.m., Hellthrope by 3:48 p.m., and Rainier Heights by the time we get to 3:50. So this is a storm we really do need you to take seriously. This is a tornado-warned storm. Again, it has shown history of rotation with it, and it's still something that we're continuing to follow. And to give you a little more perspective outside of this warning, just to let you know what else we have going on in the region before we get back to the warning, we do have storms across the region. We have rain, we have showers, and as we look to the south, even just south of the nation's capital, they're dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning in that direction. We'll put the map into a loop just to show you too that we have had rain showers moving in, and it's from north to south. So northern Baltimore County all the way down toward the nation's capital, and now it's extending east across parts of the eastern shore, including for parts of Cecil County. And this area, Cecil in particular, you all have dealt with some strong storms already, and we dealt with some strong activity yesterday across parts of the suburbs, eastern suburbs of Baltimore. So this is just something that we've been continuing with. We've been telling you about it, and unfortunately, it has come to pass that we're still dealing with this active weather across the region. So this is something we're continuing to follow, and I'll put the warning information back up there for you so you can have it. Again, we have this tornado warning through 3:45 p.m., so we still have about 6 more minutes of this warning that we are continuing to follow. And when we take a look to see if there's any type of rotation, we know that there are strong winds with this storm, and we're still looking at energy, or at least strong winds, just east of West Friendship, and now moving toward the Columbia area. So this is a threat, Columbia, that you need to take seriously. And then after that, we're looking at places like Elk Ridge and also Savage. And again, let's put that tornado warning information back up for you. You see it right there on the map, but let's make it a little clearer. 3:45 p.m. That is the timeline with this particular cell that's moving east that is tornado warned. So as always, anytime you hear a tornado warning in your area, you want to seek shelter immediately. You want to get away from windows. You want to get to the innermost part of your home so that way you can protect yourself from any dangerous winds outside. And basically, you want to put as many walls or as many things between you and the outside to protect yourself from storms like this. And so now we'll go back to the radar just to point out that we're still dealing with a lot of rain with this system. We're still dealing with a lot of lightning with this system. So this is an intense thunderstorm that is rolling through, that is tornado warned, and it's continuing to move toward the south-southeast. Last check at about 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, and if we can take Weather Graphics Computer 2, this will give us a look outside right now at what's going on in Columbia. While meteorologist Marcus Walter resets the radar. In Columbia right now, we do have some very, very heavy rainfall and some very gusty winds likely at the surface. But overall, from north to south, you can actually see a conglomeration of storms here back across the northern counties. Tornado warning still in place for portions of Howard County, and that's right around the Savage area. You're seeing pretty much some very gusty winds here. A little bit of a notching feature just along 32. This is going to go until 3:45, and then we're starting to get some cell merger here, storm cell merger that's coming from Baltimore back down through the Lakeshore area. These cells, they may not have a tornado warning on them, but still likely producing winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. We had a lot of juice in the atmosphere today. Temperatures up close to 90 degrees, if not over that mark. Some sunshine went a long way, and up to the north, not much going on, just some run-of-the-mill shower and thunderstorm activity. A little bit of wind I would expect coming in to the 83 quarter up towards Parkton, eventually pushing towards Jarrettsville, and our friends up here towards Baldwin, as well as portions up towards along the Troyer area over towards Moncton, where they do not want to see it. This is Columbia right now. Once again, you can see that rain falling down pretty heavily here. Temperature right around 80 degrees, southwesterly breeze at 7 miles per hour. Wind whipped rain. You can kind of see how poor the visibility is as those winds start to blow in. Once again, the radar velocities earlier had those winds gusting upwards of 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour when we sampled them on the velocity map. But overall, this is kind of what it looks like outside in Columbia right now. We still want you in that safe spot. All the walls around you, whether it's the innermost closet or the basement, or the bathroom, that's your tornado safety areas. If we can go over to the Weather Graphics 1, there you go. There's that velocity signature. Not as impressive as it was back across portions of Howard County, but we're still going to be with you until 3:45. Right now it's 3:42, so 3 minutes to go on the warning. That warning also has been left in the Howard County, but severe thunderstorm warnings across portions of Baltimore City and northern portions of Anne Arundel County. Those go until 4:15. They still do have a possible tornado text on them, so we want you to take your tornado precautions as necessary, and we want you to stay away from the windows because of the very gusty winds that are going to be blowing on through. Marcus, if you can tilt down here towards Lakeshore, also seeing a gust of wind northern portions of Anne Arundel County, just north of Annapolis. There, and eventually this is going to work into portions of Arnold, north of Crownsville, up towards the Odenton area. Getting a little bit of rotation also showing up there. So wouldn't be surprised as this starts to cross over the bay. We get a little bit of an influence there where we get some of that rotation that may end up in the portions of Queen Anne's as well as southern portions of Kent County. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But once again, the reason why we're with you here on television interrupting programming is because of the tornado warning once again, unfortunately, from our friends out here in Howard County. And we're right around the Columbia area. We're still seeing a little bit of that rotation. This is going to go until 3:45. Says 3:40 here on the radar. Right now it is 3:43 on the clock here in the studio as we're waiting for the data to update. We got about 3 minutes to go. Still want you in that safe spot. Even after this expires, we still want you to stay in that safe spot. If we can go back over to regular radar mode, you'll be able to see once again not much of a defined hook. Most likely have that warning with that little kink that's right there, right around Columbia. A lot of lightning with this, also some hail, being reported, and also some wind damage back out towards the Damascus area. Numerous trees and power lines down out there in northern portions of Montgomery County, according to the Weather Service chat. Tornado warning right now, 3:45. Once again, Howard County, northern portions of Anne Arundel County, Columbia area. Got a little bit of that hail over you, pea size at best, maybe quarter size hail, as this continues to sink off to the south. Also a little bit of hail showing up downtown over Baltimore City itself, down by the Inner Harbor up towards the Brooklyn area. So tornado warning until 3:45, severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15. Going to send it back over to meteorologist Marcus Walter with another update.
And again, we are tracking this information. And with the severe thunderstorm warning, we've seen they are estimating winds to be right around or reaching up to 70 miles per hour. So we're talking about some dangerous wind gusts with this activity that's moving through, and especially the severe thunderstorm warning storms. And we'll put it into motion and we'll zoom out just a little bit just to give you a little more perspective. And there we go. That tornado warning just expired. That tornado warning that was just in place for parts of Howard County now has expired. So that is good news, but we still have this active storm rolling through. And when we take a look at the radar, we still have heavy rain showers moving across parts of Columbia and also into Elk Ridge, and now moving into western parts of the metro, western parts of the city. So this is not a good time to head out because we still have this activity out there. But fortunately, we just had that tornado warning expire. Now the question is, will we have any more? We will definitely stay on top of it. But again, we still have a few more warnings out there. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in place for parts of Anne Arundel County. That still goes through 4:15 p.m. And we're also talking about just a lot of active weather across our region. So just to recap, we just had a tornado warning expire. We did not get confirmation of a tornado actually being on the ground, but we did see history of rotation. And now we're just dealing with severe thunderstorms, at least one severe thunderstorm or a couple moving across the region and bringing us impacts. So make sure you stay tuned right here to Channel 2. If we get another tornado warning, we'll be back on the air to give you more updates. But as always, thanks for tuning in and always stay safe.
Then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning. Our Sunsetter opens and closes